Hey, how's it going? Taking a look at your piece, giving the critique this week. Yeah, so let's get in and take a look. I'm still feeling, I think, and maybe I'm starting to sound a little bit like a broken record, but I feel like the spacing on these feet could still be pushed a little more. It's a little even as far as like how it feels. So I'm just going to take a look at the spacing here on these feet. So this is still stepped. So I don't know if that's your plan to leave it stepped, but if it is, you should communicate that to me or spline it for the final submission next week. I'd like to see it splined personally, because I feel like that, I think like it's going to make for a stronger piece for you and portfolios and stuff like that. Anyways, so taking a look at these feet. Yeah, okay. So I think this spacing maybe is a little bit of an issue because I would push this one up here. So if this is the previous one, and I don't want to say what the next one is going to be because I think your next one should also be pushed up a little bit. But like here, I would make this a bigger, like if this is the spacing of the previous one, then this one has to be kind of like at least that, if not bigger, to make these feet feel really snappy. And then the next one, you know, so if this foot here, let me turn off ghosting. So this foot here maybe should be like even way up here, like really make it snappy. I feel like because it's like these jackhammer feet and it's a repetitive motion, it almost needs to be snappy. So this foot's going to be way up here, which means the next one, let me see where that drawing is. I just want to make a little note on the following frame about where I suggested the previous one should be. Cool. So I can kind of know. And we're going way up here. So here is kind of where we're headed for the ease out. Then if this is where we are in the previous frame and this is where we're headed, I would bias this one really close to like where we're going, you know? So that and that are both like pretty big. So we're like kind of easing into the motion here. So small, medium, big, big, and then we want to go medium, small, like that kind of feel. That I think is the place we want to go with that. So I think it can be pushed a little bit more. That it's the spacing still feels like a little even to me throughout this bit. Also, I think that when we're doing the up and down on the cog here, it should be tied into like the force that the feet are. So here's a jump up, which works really well because like the jump should kind of precede lifting the foot up a little bit, or maybe it's simultaneous, that's fine. And then the blue foot plants and it catches the weight, but then the blue foot starts lifting while the cog, the center of gravity of the character, is still going down. And I would think the blue foot would like throw the center of gravity up as well. And then here the red foot's catching it and going up. So all that works, but I think maybe you're going up like one frame too many and we need to start on the way down so the blue foot can catch and then we can throw it up on that one frame. You know what I mean? Like this part, the feet and the center of gravity are kind of like working a little independently from each other, and I'm feeling that. I think it makes it feel a little bit floaty. The jump forward is looking better. Like the horizontal spacing, I like it now. I think that's good. I remember that from last time. That looks good. You have this nice big bounce up on the head. yeah, it's pretty extreme. But it doesn't bother me how far it's going. I feel like on the way down it's like a little fast. Like I don't want you to have to like slam the head down on the ground. Or when I said fast, I didn't mean fast. I meant floaty. But again, maybe that's just because it's like in stepped mode and not splined yet. So maybe it'll feel differently once it's splined, but okay, I think this is what I'm feeling here. So if you look at the spacing between the poses, that's a big jump and that's a little jump. So this one should probably be, well, I guess it depends where I'm like tracing the head. So if I look at the top because of the rotation, little jump and then it goes big and then it goes, so even if I track the top of the head, let me switch colors for that so that I don't get confused with the notes. Let's say we track the top. You can see how it's like there's a big jump here. So I just watched the spacing of that head on the way down, you know, again, like start growing that space. And then he doesn't have to slam his chin onto the ground, like he can kind of catch his head before it hits there. But like, yeah, look at this spacing. Yeah. Cool. There's also maybe a little something that can be done with the spacing. Like I'm noticing as like the arms go up, right? Like let's say I'm tracking this top line. The arms go up to here and then they go way down here. So again, like if you have the arms going up, it'd be nice to get a little ease out on those, like the spacing in there. And then on the way back down, you kind of have to like do the same thing where the spacing is growing. In fact, this one's probably needs to be more like up here so that this is tiny, medium, large, you know, that kind of spacing stuff on the arms I think is gonna help, because right now they kind of go up and then they like rocket back down, and you feel it kind of like hit that wall if you watch the arm bounce. But anyways, yeah, cool. I'm now looking at the torso, which feels much better. I think when you hit here, I like the shape change a lot. I think that really helps all this stuff. When you hit here, it really slowly relaxes to being flat on the ground here when I'm talking about the torso. So you're hitting here, right, in this shape. And then it takes a lot of frames to get down flat on the ground. And I think really it should only take maybe like 3 or 4 at most. So if we're going from this pink to this pink, you know, and the previous one was like up here, maybe the next one's like here, and the last one is like here on the ground. So maybe only like 1 frame, maybe 2 if you want to like see how that feels. Check it out, because you gotta watch the spacing of like how this hits the ground as well. So it's all just like doing a spacing class. Of course all this will change when you spline it, but it's just things to keep an eye on when you do spline it. Yeah, but the feet are bouncing nicely. I feel like everything's working and you're on a good path to bring it home. So when you hit the top of this arc here, right here as well, this is kind of catching my eye in both views, where it's just like, let me see, I'm gonna like track the head as a ball. So I'm just gonna make my cursor a big ball. I love this little dip. That down and up is cool. But I feel like you're having this nice gain of height, and then it starts going down kind of abruptly. You know what I mean? So I think what we really need is like just to smooth off that corner a little bit so it feels a little bit more like an arc, because right now it kind of feels a little sharp right at the apex of that arc. So if there's a way to like kind of round it so it tracks a little bit nicer, like maybe you can see it when it plays in real time, how there's like a little hitch or a bump or a wall right there. You can see it in your perspective view as well. But anyways, great stuff. Yeah, try to get it splined out and submitted for next week. But if you feel like you're not going to have enough time for that, that's fine. Just try to fix some of the spacing stuff in step mode. But I would love to see this splined, you know, so that you can actually use it as like a nice portfolio piece or something. Yeah. All right. Great work. Look forward to seeing the submission next week. All right. Take care.